Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Stylistpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Damali Fils, and today we have Miss Aleisha Davis, also known as Xin Marie. She is a colorist, credit specialist, and the owner of XM Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. Aleisha, come on in the room. How are you?
I am great. I am great today.
Oh, I'm doing
Thank you
good
for
too.
having me on.
I'm so excited to have you. We were connected via Facebook, and I was just like, oh, this sounds like I read your story, looked you up, and I was like, oh, I love her. So if you would just share your story with us, tell us about your business, a little bit about your background, all that good stuff.
Okay. So I don't really know where to begin,
I know apparently that
but
seems like the hardest question for people.
yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to tell my life story, but
Mhm.
I guess I can start with how I got into the field, or let's say back into the cosmetology, hairstylist, beauty industry.
Yeah.
So I actually went to cosmetology school in high school. So
Okay.
I went to a technical school. I took my state board exam and I got my cosmetology license at the time. I was 17.
Okay.
So I started working in a salon, kept it up for a few years, but back during that time, that was 2001, 2002, we
Hmm.
didn't have social media. So it was
No.
really it was a hustle.
Yeah.
Like I would have to be there, to actually grow a clientele, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that part.
Yeah.
So I got out of it. I got a job working for insurance companies, and I stayed in that field for quite a number of years.
Okay.
So fast forward to 2017, um or no, I went to college
Hmm.
after I was divorced. I got married young, had two children, went to college.
Nice.
So I got my bachelor's degree in 2013 in criminal justice. And I really wanted to go to law school. At the time, though, with the kids, we had gotten divorced. I was like, it's going to be tough. So I
Yeah.
decided to go for my MBA. And went and did that. I completed that. And I kept getting fired from jobs. Like
Okay.
it wasn't a good fit,
Yeah, it
you
wasn't
know. And
working.
I was like, you know what? I think I might try to get back into doing hair again because my
Hmm.
license was still active. I kept it active and updated. So I started soliciting clients from Craigslist, Facebook, people I knew, and I had a little chair and table in my kitchen. Wasn't
Hmm.
the most comfortable chair, but that's the way that I started getting clients. So
Okay.
I had a real big learning curve.
Mm.
I had to
Yeah.
like the trends. Most people were natural. When I was back in school, we wore
No,
relaxers all the time.
exactly.
So I had a lot to learn. So,
Mhm.
just with me practice as well as, seeking out classes, seeking out like other more advanced stylists that I could learn from. I had
Mhm.
no problem traveling, taking workshops, because I really wanted to put my all into it. I really wanted to make it a
Right.
business. So with me having that MBA, I think that really gave me the business part of it.
Uh-huh.
So learning how to market, learning how to retain clients, learning how to be professional and operate the business.
Mhm.
Once I got out of my kitchen, I
Mhm.
worked in a salon. I rented a booth.
Okay.
So, more and more clients would come in, but I didn't like that I didn't have control of the my environment.
Right. Yeah. As a booth
So,
renter, you're kind of under somebody else's surveillance and you can do your
yeah,
thing, but not completely.
yeah. And I didn't like that part. So
Okay.
I really wanted my own space, but I didn't know if I was quite ready for my own space.
Mhm.
So the salon that I was in, they had an upstairs and
Okay.
nobody ever went up there. So I asked the owner, I was like, you have a room upstairs I can move to? And she was like, nobody's ever asked me that, but sure.
Yeah.
So I kind of created my own suite. I had
Mm-hmm.
to purchase everything, but
Okay.
it was my own space.
Right.
And I absolutely loved it. So that really is what led me to XM Studios. So when I
Okay.
got my own space, which is XM Studios, it's my own location, and it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had like suites built in the space because I
Mm-hmm.
like the suite feel. So with the rest of the space, I turned it into an event space.
Okay.
So the event space generates income. You
Mm-hmm.
know, typically you would have stylists that pay you weekly to work.
Right.
Well, I don't have any stylists, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
I feel like being able to rent the space hourly
Mm-hmm.
kind of, takes away the cap that I would get if I just had a stylist paying me weekly. I would only get so much a month. But being
Gotcha.
able to rent that extra space for intimate events, people have rented it for photography, baby showers, private dinners,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas functions, like all kind of stuff. So I rent that space for $75 an hour, and I kind
Okay.
of upcharge for things like chairs or
Right.
whiteboards or drinks. So it's really, really, really been a very good experience.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the fact that the way you're utilizing your space, because I do see a lot of stylists that, not to say that they complain, but they have areas of opportunity where they could be making more money, where they could be given the chances to upsell, and they're not taking advantage of that. And from your story, what I hear you saying is that, listen, I saw opportunity when I was booth renting that they had extra space. I took that opportunity. I
Mm-hmm.
have a space where I don't have stylists working, but I still have an opportunity to make more money. And that's what this podcast is all about, for stylists to see the business in, not just the craft. Like, girl, you can do some hair. I know you can. But can you use it as a business?
Right.
How can you make more money? How can you utilize every square feet in your space? And you've done that. And I love that. Would you say that having that MBA has really pushed the business side of it? Because I know everybody hasn't went to college, don't
Yeah.
have an MBA, but I have a degree in business, and I can say that that has helped my business. So would you say that having an MBA kind of sets you apart from the competition?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I do most definitely. Because I see it helps me identify a lot of areas where I'm able to help other stylists.
Okay.
Because with me being, in the industry so long, I know how to tell like an old school stylist because I know where we came from. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stylists just really operate with, it's fast money. You're
Right.
going to get cash. A lot of them typically don't have, like legitimate business, legitimate paperwork. And we saw
Mm-hmm.
that during COVID. Like
Yeah.
when COVID came along, if you had your papers, legitimate, like I was able to
Mm-hmm.
get unemployment. I was able to
Mm-hmm.
get unemployment income the entire time that I was away. So it's things like that I can see, how to help other stylists in that area. And
Mm-hmm.
if they have space, how could you make more? Do you have
Exactly.
a extra suite that you could list on Share? Could
Mm-hmm.
you rent it to traveling stylists?
Exactly.
So yeah, I really do think that it really helped me with that foundation.
Okay. No, I
Really
agree,
did.
because I've utilized Share a couple of times as a traveling stylist, and I've seen, empty salons go from being empty to making money. So it
Mm-hmm.
definitely helps. And like you said, during COVID, I actually worked as a commission stylist, and I literally sat home and got paid for 2 months. While, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, other stylists were trying to figure it out. They were still trying to work under the
Yeah,
table, still trying to work from home. And I just think there's ways that we can work smarter. There's ways that we can set
definitely.
ourselves up for retirement. And I love the fact that, like,
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know your retirement plan, but I can see that that's where you're going. That one day you will be able to retire and not have to work
Yeah.
every day.
Yes. And that's after COVID, I think a lot of people, even, outside of our industry, realize that we need other streams of income. So one thing that has been very vital for me is building business credit. So, having a legitimate business, even when I worked at other locations, I always presented my business to banks as a salon. Even though I was just an independent stylist,
Right.
I would use the address and add suite A, suite B, and I established business credit. Like, I was able to get large lines of credit for Xin Marie, $30,000 lines of credit, 20,000. I mean, so being able to build that also allowed me to, it allowed me to expand. It allowed me to invest in other things like e-commerce stores, like things that would generate more income. So I really, really, really am passionate about bridging that gap, because there's not a lot of stylists or, beauty professionals that are familiar with that.
No.
Like, you can actually build business credit, whether you're an independent stylist, salon owner, so that has really, really, really helped me.
Now, did that education come from having your MBA, or is this something that you kind of learned along the way as far as like building your credit?
This is something that I learned along the way. So my husband and I, we have another business.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's loud. And so we went through just a credit journey of just, building our personal credit and repairing it, building it. And then we started looking into business credit. So once I really learned how to get money for your business, whether it be through EIN or whether it be leveraging my social security number, that is what kind of like the light bulb went off. And I knew these are two fields that, for one, can help anybody with a business or as an entrepreneur, but really, really, really in the beauty industry, I feel like there's a gap. There's a gap because we are used to fast money. We can see clients, we can make money quickly. So I don't think, you really think about it until it's something that you feel that you need. But business credit is better built when you don't need it, you know, and it gives you so many options. It gives you so many.
I agree with that. So if someone were looking to get started with that, are there any tips that you can give as far as like building that credit? Like, where could they start?
So if you want to start, really with just your business, you kind of have to be familiar with where to look. So the big business reporting agencies, there's Equifax Business, there's Experian Business, and there's Dun & Bradstreet. So you can actually pull reports from each of those. And you can start building by using or applying for accounts with vendors that report to those businesses. So I say, like, for our industry or anybody, if you have a car that takes fuel, a business gas card, like, you can start with something just like a business gas card, because you're going to need gas. Unless you have a Tesla or something, you're going to need gas, and that's something that you can use. You can pay every 30 days, and that would actually establish something on your business. If you're more wanting like the business credit cards, like bank issue, Bank of America, Chase, Navy Federal, something like that, they're going to pull your personal credit. So having great personal credit, like a solid profile, 700 or above, is really easy to get many lines of credit from a lot of institutions. But you just have to be willing to, allow them to look at your personal credit, which is, what I did pretty much. So outside of the gas card, I was actually able to purchase a vehicle using just my business credit. So not pulling my, not my social or not my personal. And that's a very big account on my, on establishing my business credit. So,
and I think that can be a big difference with like the growth in the presence of your business, because there's only so much you can do with just the income that you're making. Sometimes you do need those lines of credit. And just like for me, being a traveling hairstylist, I have credit cards with airlines. So I've gotten free flights. I've been to Africa and not had to pay for the entire flight. Or even like my hotel stay, I make sure I'm always at the Marriott so that I can get those points. Like all those things come in handy. And I know a lot of people have these big dreams and big goals. And it's like, okay, you may not have $30,000 to put into a building. But if you have that line of credit, you have more opportunities and things that you can do just by, having that knowledge. So I'm glad you shared that with us, because as hairstylists, we sit around and we talk about hair and the latest trends. But like you said, not enough of us is talking about the business and the credit end.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's another thing that my business credit, it gives me an advantage. So just yesterday, I came back from Atlanta, Georgia, learning. With me utilizing my business credit, I was able to pay for the class. I got the flight there free. I got the hotel, 5 times points with like hotel credits. Like, it just really makes it like, just, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's just an amazing feeling to have that security, like to not have to reach in your pocket or go into, dip into your cash flow all the time. And a lot of business credit cards give you 0% interest for 12 to even up to 24 months.
That's very
so
true.
you can do things like that. Like, that's an investment. Me learning a new skill is something that's going to bring me more income, so it just makes sense.
No, I definitely agree. And I know, just to switch it up a little bit, that you mentioned like getting back into the industry and behind the chair, that it was a learning curve, that you had to go get more education, took classes. And I know there's some seasoned stylists out there that feel like they don't need that education. They feel like I know it all. And I love the fact that you decided, I don't know it all. I may be a little rusty. I may have forgotten some things. Can you just touch bases on that, as far as like doing what you needed to do to get back out there and like taking classes?
So in the beginning, especially, I forgot a lot of things. I forgot a lot of things. And I knew I was gonna have to learn. I was gonna have to invest in my education. But even now, at the point where I feel like there are some things that I'm very, very good at, I never feel like I know it all. Like, I can always learn. So even like monthly, I make a monthly investment into a stylist mentorship. So we do classes, coaching calls, just to keep me refreshed, because I do work by myself. Like, I don't have a stylist next to me that, hey girl, what, can you help me with this? So being able to just invest, I think it's like $22 a month, and having a mentor, as well as having, stylists and beauty professionals from all over, really, really helps me. It's a very small investment, and it really, really helps.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned mentorship. I don't think enough stylists realize how valuable mentorship is, especially if you want to own a salon, if you want to start a hairline, if you want to be a specialist in some area. Having someone that has already done what you're trying to do, that can help you speed up the process. That can, like, you can learn so much.
It definitely helps you.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely helps you collapse time and avoid mistakes that you don't have to make.
Oh yeah. And being able to save money,
because 9 times out of 10 they've already made them. They can tell you what to avoid. Yeah, that's the fastest way to get somewhere, is through someone that's already done it.
Yeah, because I feel like as a hairstylist, once you get out of school, you don't necessarily have a roadmap. Like, I feel like a lot of times we're out there trying to figure it out. We're trying to find a salon, trying to find one, that fits. what we need. I can remember having a girl come to our hair school saying she had worked at 12 different salons, and I thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, why? It must be something wrong with her. She's worked at all these salons. But once I got out into the workforce, I realized like I was out there trying to figure it out until I found a mentor, until I found a salon where they actually was like being helpful. So that mentorship is everything.
It is. Yeah.
So I took a look at your website, and there's a line that I absolutely love. And it just says that you felt like it was intriguing, challenging, and intimidating, and that color excited you. Like, I love the fact that you decided, I'm going to specialize in color because it makes me feel that way. Now, I see some styles and they're doing everything, which I'm not. I thought I was going to be everything styles when I first started until I realized my passion of extensions. So can you just talk to the styles that are trying to figure it out? How to find that passion, that what you want to specialize in, like just share that with us.
I can share my experience of what drew me to wanting to. I made my classmates' hair. I didn't remember a lot, and I would have clients come and inquire about the color services. And I had to be honest. I don't know much about it, but with me not knowing much about it and feeling like, what, it's a challenge, but I really want to master this. So I spent a lot of time learning about it. I messed up a few people's hair,
That's okay. It happens
along the way, but being able to practice under Rachel Red, she's a very big mentor. She's in Atlanta. I've gone to 3 of her workshops. I've worked with her one-on-one. She's been very, very instrumental in my color education. So once I was getting, better and better, I love it. I still love coloring. I could do it all day because being able to take whether it's correcting color or you're taking a virgin client from where they are to the look that they want, or even exceeding their expectations, like the feeling is phenomenal. Being able to do that it's awesome. It's awesome. So I think that I do notice a lot of stylists that they want to offer everything, but when you specialize in something, when you're known for something, you can charge premium price. So I do feel like honing in on what you really want, and you could genuinely want to do a lot. But if you pay attention to, well, what are most people coming to me for? What do I feel the most comfortable, with, that may give you an idea of what you can, what you can master, what you can specialize in.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at bigger businesses, you realize like, and even a bigger trend now is places that specialize in things. I mean, Starbucks is doing coffee. Starbucks for coffee. You're not going to go there trying to get a smoothie. They don't make smoothies, So and that, even for me, I was like, you know what? I can do a little color. I can do a little bit of this and that, but I know extensions. I know I can go from 2 inches to 30 inches. I can do that in my sleep. Okay. Now, when it comes to colors, I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope. So I'm definitely all about, specializing in something and being able to charge a little bit more for it, because this is all I do. This is what I know. So I can definitely agree with that. So I thank you for coming on today's show. Now, there's one question I love to ask everybody, and that is, what's your stylistpreneur power? What's so special about you? What do your clients love about you? How do you do what you do?
Oh, my stylistpreneur power. One thing about that I notice with a lot of my clients is every time they, see me, they have an appointment, they always walk away learning something. So like a lot of my clients, we get into these conversations about entrepreneurship. It could be about
Mm-hmm.
credit, because most of them know that, that's
Right.
something that I work with as well. It could be even about their hair or hair care, or, if I give them an instruction on meeting their goal and they do it and they accomplish it, they love
Right.
it. They're like, you really know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, just being, I think that stylist that educates, not just
Mm-hmm.
sit and,
Chit
talk or
chat.
chat or gossip. I always have something fruitful to say.
And
And
I
I
love
really,
that. Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why your clients continue to come back. Especially like, I'm gonna
yeah,
look good, but I'm also gonna walk away and know that I've learned something.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that's amazing. So I definitely want to make sure that all of my listeners can follow you, stay in contact with you. Where can we follow you?
You can follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. On
Okay.
Instagram, my page is Xin Marie Official.
Okay.
On Facebook, I am Xin Marie Color and Styling. And on TikTok, I'm Xin Marie Official as well.
Okay.
So yeah, you can find me on those 3 platforms. I also have a website, iamcinmarie.com.
Okay. And if anybody needs some rental space, she also has that. Make sure,
Yeah.
I'll make sure to include all of that so that everybody can follow you and stay connected. Thank you for being on
Thank
today's
you.
show. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. You too.